4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning to all of us, especially to our professor, Dr. Lorna Istal, and to my fellow classmates. Once again, good morning. Today, I will discuss about the two-part of Oriental philosophy and their contribution to our Philippine education, and also the influence to us in the Filipino people, which are the Buddhism and Hinduism, and the Taoism and Confucianism will be reported by the next reporter. So when we say Buddhism, it is the major religion that originated in ancient India and follows the teaching of Siddhartha Gautama, also known as Gautama Buddha. Buddhism believed in the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth or reincarnation. Buddhism emphasized the moral conduct, the meditation, and the development of wisdom. It has a various tradition and schools such as Theravada, Mahayana, and Zen Buddhism. Each of them has own practice and beliefs. So the location of Buddhism is originated in India around 500 before Christian era. And about 6% of the world population today is the Buddhism. So there are also 7 countries that have Buddhist majority. And by the way, the Buddhism is the 4th largest religion in the world, though its largest number of followers are found in the Southern and Eastern Asia. So the 7 countries that have Buddhist majority are in the Cambodia, Thailand, Burma or Myanmar, Bhutan, and Sri Lanka, and Laos, and Mongolia. As you can see in the picture, that was Siddhartha Gautama, and that picture, the call of that Buddha is the awakened. So Siddhartha Gautama is also known as Gautama Buddha. He was a spiritual teacher and a founder of a Buddhism. He was born in the 5th century or before Christian era in Lovini, Nepal. He was a monk and traveled around in the India for years, hoping to find out why people had to suffer. And after he attained those meditation, he attained the enlightenment under a Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya in India. So Buddha's teaching revolved around the 4 noble truths and the Eightfold Path, which offer guidance for individuals seeking liberation and suffering by achieving inner peace. So the first is the dukkha or suffering. So, and the second one is the samudaya, which is the origin of suffering. So, and the third one is the nirodha or the cessation of suffering. And the fourth is the magga or the path of the cessation of suffering. It is outlined the Eightfold Path as the means to end suffering. So the middle way or the Eightfold Path of the middle way of Buddha. So it is in this view that he also wants to enlighten us to make our life and also our action or attitude that will create happiness or oneself to the others. So number 1 is try to recognize the truth. Number 2 is try to avoid evil action and bad people. Number 3, do not say things that hurt others. 4th, respect other people and their belongings. 5th, choose a job that does no harm to others. 6, do not think evil thoughts. 7, avoid incitement or anger. 8, work at meditation, thinking carefully about what matters in life. So these are the Eightfold Path of middle way that we must remember so that we can create a happiness life. And this is also the Mahabodhi temple in India where Buddha attained nirvana under the Bodhi tree. So this sacred text is called the holy book of the Buddhism is called Tripitaka. So it contains all of the Buddha's teaching. So Buddhism contribution and influence in the Philippines. One of these are the artifacts in Agusan that found in Esperanza, Agusan del Sur on 1918. So there's a lot of artifacts found in the Philippines, but I only highlight the nearest artifacts that found here in Agusan. So the Buddhism contribution and education system in the Philippines. The first is the trade and cultural exchange, and the second is art and architecture. Next is the literature and writing, the meditation and mindfulness, the ethical principle. So Buddhism has made a specific contribution to the Philippine educational system. We have also the language and philosophy. So Hinduism incorporated in the Philippines with a curriculum and teaching guide. So first is the Philippine Department of Education has developed a curriculum guide for the teaching of Pali in elementary and secondary schools. The second is some Philippine university offer courses on Buddhist philosophy and religion. Third is the mindfulness is taught in some Philippine schools and university as part of the personal development curriculum. And fourth is the Buddhist values such as compassion, wisdom, and non-violence are emphasized in the Philippine educational system. So now let's go to the second part of Oriental philosophies, the Hinduism. So Hinduism is the religion or the major religion in India, and it is also the oldest religion of the world. So Hinduism has over 1.2 billion followers worldwide. It is considered one of the biggest or the highest followers of the religion in India and Nepal. So it is characterized by the reincarnation, karma, and rebirth, to pursue the liberation from the cycle of birth and death. So Hinduism also includes a vast array of gods and goddesses, rituals, and festival. So the location of Hinduism. So today, Hinduism is the largely practiced in India, where over 80% of Indians claim to be Hindu. And Hinduism is also developed around 1,500 before Christian era. And the major religion in India is in Nepal and India with 1.2 billion followers, and 80% of Indians are follower in Hinduism. So Hinduism is a religion that has 1,000 of gods and goddesses. So these are the gods and goddesses or deities of the Hinduism. The first was the major deities in Hinduism and their contribution are: first is the Brahma. Brahma is the creator of the universe. Second is the Vishnu, is the preserver and protector of the universe. Third is the Shiva. Shiva is the destroyer and transformer. Fourth is the Lakshmi, or in the goddess of wealth, prosperity, and fortune. The fifth is the Saraswati, or Saraswati is the goddess of knowledge, arts, and music and learning. And the sixth is the Durga. The Durga is the goddess of power and protection. And seven are the Ganesh, or the Ganesh is the elephant-headed god of wisdom and intelligence. So those major deities in Hinduism that are found in this picture. So these are the basic beliefs of Hinduism. So Aryan press followed complicated prayers, rituals, and hymns known as the Vedas. So they only believe in the press. So, and the several core beliefs that are commonly associated with Hinduism. The first are the reincarnation, or the person who reincarnate or rebirth. And the second is karma. We also know that karma is what your action can lead to be positive or negative. It has either positive or negative result also. What you did to the other people. And next is the dharma, or the moral and ethical, the moksha, or the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. The polytheism is believe in gods and goddesses. And the last one is the sacred text. And also they believe also in the rituals and festival. So as you can see in the picture, that was the example of festival of Hinduism, and that festival called Diwali, or the festival of lights, that is symbolize the victory of light over darkness, for good and evil over evil. So let's go to the caste system. When we say caste system, it is the social classes of the Hinduism. So the first one is the Brahmins. There are four of caste system. There are four: the Brahmins, or the priests and wise men. They are in the highest class. And the second is the Kshatriyas, or the warriors, rulers, all soldier, or they are in the next class. And the third is Vaiyas, or the merchant, traders, small farmers, and they are in the third. And the fourth is the Shudras, the peasant, and the field workers in the last class. And for the fifth, but they are not already member of the caste system, they are considered as a lower and untouchable of parias, who do not work, that no one else would do. So the Hinduism contribution in education system in the Philippines. So the first is the concept of the guru. They have the Hindu guru, or a respected teacher and a spiritual guide. And the next is the importance of values. The third is the holistic approach to education. They are the one of the teach that they given to us in our educational system. And we have also the Hinduism has also made a specific contribution to the Philippine educational system in the areas of Sanskrit. I know we already hear that word. The number two is yoga and Hindu philosophy. So Hinduism incorporated in the Philippine curriculum in teaching methods. First is the Philippine Department of Education has developed a curriculum guide for the teaching of Sanskrit in elementary and secondary schools. Second, some Philippine university offer courses on Hindu philosophy and religion. Third is yoga is taught in some Philippine schools and universities as part of the physical education curriculum. And fourth is the Hindu values such as truth, compassion, and non-violence are emphasized in the Philippine educational system. So next, the Hinduism, again, the similarities and differences of their characteristic. So the characteristic of the Buddhism and Hinduism, the founder are Siddhartha. In Buddhism, Siddhartha Gautama, or the Buddha. And Hinduism is no single founder. And the central text of Buddhism is Tripitaka, while the Hinduism is Vedas, Upanishads, and Bhagavad Gita. And the god of Buddhism is Nirvana, and in the Hinduism is Brahman. And the afterlife of the Buddhism are reincarnation until nirvana is achieved, while the Hinduism is reincarnation until moksha is achieved. So the caste system, there is no or none caste system in Buddhism, but while the Hinduism they have a caste system. And the monotheistic and polytheistic of Buddhism, generally considered to be more monotheistic, while the Hinduism is they are polytheistic.